What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at y'all once again. Hope everybody's enjoying their day. Hope everybody's enjoying their time. Hope everybody has a moment to listen to this discourse. This is just a discussionary discourse. Pardon me, I'm eating pomegranate because one thing about this fruit, you gotta take your time eating this one because this should take forever. But I would like to say this before you continue to proceed watching this video. Please, if you're watching this around children, remove them from your immediate vicinity because my videos are not for children. So, now that we got that out the way, I want to talk about something. I believe that in my heart of hearts, that something has pressed me to actually put the discussion on here today. And this discussion is for educational purposes as much more as for informational insight, as opposed to some sort of educational premise, but more so just a self-analysis and self-awareness about what's going on. I know that over the past few weeks, months, even a year, which will be eventually come to years because gradually people are shifting into a state of a different type of awareness. Y'all have to understand one thing is that it's taking place, that if you were not aware of it and you're dead sleep to it, then it doesn't apply to you. But if you have been aware of these things, such as a heightened sense of awareness, a heightened sense of a shift of change, a heightened sense of a shift of power, recognition, and a heightened sense of self-awareness, man, if you haven't had that within these previous, weeks, months, whatever, you ain't gonna get it for the future. Because in the midst of the chaos that is socially happening and taking place, and only those who have ears to hear what I'm saying will understand exactly what I'm saying, you have to realize that there is a gradual power shift and a gradual conscious shift and a gradual expanding of information that is dangerous to your enemy. Now, people be like, well, what do you mean? Let me break it down. Let me break it down and simplify it. Your oppressors, your enemies, or what I should say, your employers are dead afraid the moment that you actually wake up and take your own incentive to be your fucking self. They're dead afraid. See, while capitalism and materialism sucks up everything, and it totally keeps people engrossed in self and ego and so forth and so on, spiritual principles aside, it totally makes them afraid because once you walk away and live in your originality and simplicity, then they will turn around and say, wow, shocker. They would have never expected you to do this. Now, why am I saying this? It's because that gradually, with things that are going on, they're trying to force people with the current situation going on. I can't say the word, but they're trying to force their collective, what would you call it, army of the minuscule individuals who really don't matter, we're fuck anyway, into trying to convince a vast majority into doing their bidding. What we call, quote unquote, in the English diction, the agenda. And if you haven't been aware of this agenda and what's taking place, then I feel sorry for you. But for those who are, this is my audience I'm talking to. And you have to take into consideration that once you have this self-determination built within you, then you have the power of the motivating force. The motivating force is one of those things that you have to look intrinsically within inside yourself. And it's sort of like a plant. See, you can plant a specific seed in a particular soil, which obviously our parents have done with us. For those who are melanated. We ain't talking about the grafted people. And no offense to you, but you're welcome in the audience. But once that seed is planted, it must be nurtured. It must be taken care of. It must be constantly fed by what? Light. Now, one thing that has been hidden from a lot of people's consciousness is knowledge, and light has often been deprived of you. So if a plant lives in a closet for a week, 1 week, any plant, except for those who are indigenous to certain places where they actually flourish in the moonlight, but if it's deprived of moonlight, it still needs light. It will die. The light that you've been deprived of is the knowledge of who the fuck you are. I know somebody needs to hear that message. I know somebody needs to hear that message. The sad part is, a lot of y'all don't want it. Some of y'all put yourselves in the dark. I'm depressed. I'm broke. I ain't got this. Stop speaking those volumes of negativity over your existence. This is going to cut you off from the unseen essential. We ain't talking about that lame ass paperback book. I'm talking about what's in you. That bullshit ass book, Unseen Essential. Man, get that $12 ass shit out of here. Nobody want to hear that shit. Fuck. I read that book years ago, man. I read it from cover to cover. I threw that bitch against a wall. Because I knew the Unseen Essential was already something that I had already been speaking to. Which drew me to that bullshit book when I threw that away. And then I kept on rocking. But in reality, you have to come to a cognizance of who you are in the midst the chaos that you're dealing with today. There are people who come against y'all. Some of y'all are experiencing high volumes of spiritual, mental, physical, financial, whatever sorts of attacks. We will say that. But why? Have you ever sat back and asked yourself why? Once you rewire yourself and get the basis of why these things are happening, you'll understand that it's really not as deep as you think. Some of y'all are fearful. I know y'all scroll my video up and down the channels, and agents, you bitches did it too. I ain't scared to call you bitches, you bitches. That's what y'all are. Y'all never come to the front. You always stay at the back. So stay your stinky, dark, dank, damp ass in the back. You feel me? But the truth is that a lot of people have never really questioned themselves about what's taking place. And those who are wise actually know that you got the upper hand right now. I don't give a fuck how dark shit seems. You really do. See, you're being torn between the war of the worlds. Who has the most money or who doesn't? Who's going to make the next political move or who won't? Get out of that shit. That is a falsified reality. Straight. Build your own shit. See, this is the moment in time I'm speaking to you in where you have the opportunity to do it. The only thing is, all you got to do is put your hand on the door. Open the door, walk through it. That's what you have to do. That's why I strictly emphasize on my channel, why I tell a lot of people, a lot of them, hey, tap into the unseen essential, the higher self. See, all this bullshit on these channels, the chakras and all that's great. That's great. That is totally fine. But you have to understand that the Kundalini, quote unquote, the spiritual Kundalini, as far as outside of yourself, is on a maximum scale. So if your chakras aren't aligned with those chakras, you ain't going to get no progress. You're going to be fatigued, tired, and diseased, and worn down if you ain't in charge of the control of the flow of the energy. But pardon me if it may seem like I'm going all over the place. But those who know exactly where I'm going with this know exactly where I'm going. They fear your self-determination. They fear the lack of control that they're losing over you. So now they have to create shit to keep you where you at. It's basically what the fuck I'm saying. If you don't like to hear what I have to say, at 10:16, shut this video off. End discussion. Take your little blue pill, go back to sleep, go back to dreamland. But for those who stand for a cause and those who stand up, which are those who know exactly how they should do what they need to do, keep doing it. Even if things seem dark, dismal, you may go through deaths. And I speak death over no person. If you may seek death, you may see experiences of people who are basically losing from your life. You may see things that you might not want to. But if you are tapped into the unseen essential, maybe these things are necessary in order for you to extricate these things from your personal spiritual shell. You have to let these things go. Let them be. I know a lot of people who view my channel have experienced a lot. Hell, I went through a lot. But you know what? After I saw it through, and I'm glad I had an experience for that and not someone else's to embellish upon, yeah, it made much more sense because it wasn't going to help my higher growth or development. And that's just the way it is. Because it will always be that way. Some of us walk around and deal with negative husks of people. Some people ain't really people. Some of these motherfuckers, why do you think they built the fucking movie trilogy about zombies and shit? Y'all think that shit was just some shit that people came up with if they didn't see it themselves? But the only motherfuckers who knew what zombies were the people who actually defended themselves against it. Do y'all not get that? Real shit. And you have to cycle that type of mentality in order for you to understand exactly where this narrative is coming from. Because it's giving you the keys, you just ain't accepting them. You waiting for somebody to give them to you. You better take them bitches. Because if you're a prisoner, you've been arrested or locked up, the first thing you want to do is get the fuck free. Half y'all listening to this message ain't ready for that. Y'all don't want the keys. They be dangling in front of your face. They've been dangling in front of your face on my channel for years. Scared. You're scared of the possibility of success and how you're going to motivate yourself to get the fuck away from something and do what you want. And that's the reason why you're in the spiritual state you in. Because you ain't got that personal freedom. You think somebody got to give you the key. All you got to do is speak to the lock. How the fuck you think the lock came into existence? Came through a plan, right? Figure out the blueprint. Don't worry about the key. The key came last. Man, oh man. But y'all don't hear me though. Some do. But they don't hear me. Real talk. The key came last. The keys are last in the page of the patents. What key do you want? And which door do you want to go through? See, there's no more fence straddling when it comes down to dealing with a certain psychology. If you want the conditioned psychology, go ahead. Sure. It's your choice. Do what you want. Be led by the nose like a bull, which weighs more than the ring that's within its nose in order for the catcher to actually lead it to slaughter. Do what you want. To those who are free, quote unquote, mentally and spiritually and physically, keep doing what you're doing. Ascend to the higher path. And to the melanated, always acknowledge your Orisha. You know? Now, that's not definitely for the opposite of the spectrum. Definitely not worried about them. You know, that their whole spirituality ain't spiritual at all. There ain't no fucking spirituality, no fucking ghost. We have the attestations. We've been here. So we don't have to put up images and focus on that shit because we've already been here. Y'all have to understand that my message is this is a fucking spiritual battle now. It's no longer physical. It's no longer physical. It is for the war of the minds of people, not for the bodies no more. Now, selectively chosen for those who wish to go that route. Yeah, it's a different story. But for the minds of people, that's what I'm talking to. Because see, 2021, 2022, 2023, you ain't gonna believe me till it happens. I'll give it to mid-2023 before you find out and actually see how much transhumanism and how much projection they're going to inject within this society. This society that you thought was normal ain't going that way no more. So get normal out your head and become abnormal, because that's the shit they told you to not be your whole life. For all you people who were in your own lane and dealing with your own thing, what it needs to call you? Weird. You're weird. You've always lived in the abnormal so-called reality. Always have. But you thought you were shunned because you thought for your fucking self. See, you were around a bunch of mindless fucking drones your whole life. And that's why we made decisions in our ignorance for those motherfuckers. And then we start using our mind for ourselves. When quote unquote the spirit reanimated. Oh, they couldn't stand that shit. They hated it. Couldn't wait for your downfall. Keep rising. Because guess what? If you're still here, the battle ain't lost. Still stand. What Antoine Fisher said? Still standing, still strong. Tried to tear him down his whole life. People have done that to us, and we have to understand that why this is done is based upon a pretext of control. Because anyone that wants to see you flourish will never leave you like that plant in the closet. Never. Who would want to see a plant die? I don't want to see I want to see a person die. Why do you think people cry at funerals? So why would I want to see that potential within you die? Only if I'm dead within my motherfucking self. But some of us surround ourselves with those characters. We do. And we often have to admit that that's the truth. We admit to one thing too, that we often falsify our reality. You know, some of us cover it up with going to church, listening to a preacher. Well, I know people might not like what I got to say next, certain ones, but I tell you what, the difference between a preacher and a prostitute is at least you get something for your patronage after you pay the prostitute after you get fucked. That's an even exchange. Now, am I promoting that? No. I'm keeping it real. Straight. They preach about heaven while you live in hell. And hell is not real. That comes from Scandinavian mythology, which makes you think it's a place of torment and a place of punishment. That's only when you start punishing yourself. Stop letting the Anglo-Saxon mentality formulate your thought. Because a lot of people that are sitting out here talking about their melanated, there's a lot of colored Anglo-Saxons out here. Yeah, I said it. I don't care. I learned that shit when I was in the, 6th grade? I said, Dionne Warwick is a fucking psychic? Fuck this bitch. Become a psychic. This bitch can't walk from here to San Diego home. But she can tell you your future? What the fuck kind of sick shit is this? Because her music was trash. And she started selling skincare products and beauty products. That bitch said, fuck it. I'm going to get up out of this shit while I can. And am I ever since? So you hear me? Some people don't hear me though. Y'all gotta stop letting people make up your reality and make your own. Make your own. And one thing I will say is this to all those who of the chosen. You feel me? Of the chosen. Straight. Hold on, man. It's calling me and shit. I'm recording and shit. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, my bad, yo. Basically, y'all have to live by your own determination. You do. Stop letting other people make y'all minds up for y'all. Y'all motherfuckers out here running behind concepts and false truths and running behind these. Fuck out of here. Build your world. Build your shit. Make your life worth living. Make your existence your shit. Build your own planet if you got to. The fuck? Some people don't want to do that though. They don't hear me. It's too scared. And see, with the advantage you have right now, that the opposite side is planning their next move, plan yours. If I don't make any more sense to those people who don't understand, plan your shit. Does that make sense? Your first time viewing this channel, like and subscribe. If you don't like what I have to say, I don't give a fuck. Genuinely. Because you ain't going to stop my flow. And if you do, you're going to get ran smooth the fuck over. Straight. Now, I ain't the baddest motherfucker on the face of this earth. Oh, trust me, I'm not. But I know one that is better than me. I speak straight to the enemy. Oh, yeah, I'm not. But I know one it is. One, creative. And this is not established by monotheism or any man's doctrine. Straight. But I do know. I do know. And you know. Because even the things that you do to try to hinder people's progress has to fall in line with that same plan. Because if it don't, it will fail. So, meet you at the crossroads. Get me? Hit that like button. Like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification so every time I drop a video, you'll be properly informed. You just been shadow banning me? I don't care. Fine. Keep me in the shadows. Because there ain't nothing done in the dark that won't come to the light. If the truth's in the dark and the lies in the light, figure out where you stand. Take care. Peace, light, love. Agents, fuck you. Fuck you and what you stand for. Bitch. End the discussion. Logging off. It's over with.